be for the Opportunity Zone Bank.
I think
Bill.
right now it's at 120,000.
Not too bad.
Can't pass that up.
So we kind of thought,
So are we voting on this or not?
yes.
Okay, so all in favor of motion to, or is there a second to the motion to go ahead with Opportunity Bank?
Yes, second motion.
Motion been made and seconded to go ahead with the Opportunity Bank proposal for the building, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Yes.
So what interest rate are they looking to work with us on that?
For the first 5 years, 5% set, and it's average, yeah,
Nothing special about that.
right?
So we're 11:30, support for the Tina mine in Mara County. The letter of support for the Black Butte mine project in Mara County.
Yeah, I had suggested this at our lunch with the Mark County Commissioners and with Nancy Schlepp with Tintina Mine. And what I would like to do is write it jointly. I don't mind doing a draft, but I wanted to, one, make sure that that's where we would want to be and give any public comment that there might be on the subject, and then incorporate all those thoughts into the letter. So certainly the economic benefits, also the responsible mining practices that we can adhere to here and have the oversight of DEQ to make sure it's done. And any other thoughts you guys have. But I didn't want to start in on something without the full commission. I think it should be a 3-0 vote if we're going to go ahead and do such a support letter. So I did want to vote first and then also to give some public comment and thoughts as to what you guys want in the letter, or at least in the first draft. And then via email, we'll perfect it and have it for assignment on Monday.
I think we can agree that, you know, we can go forward with that, but I still don't want to listen to what public comment is first.
Right, right.
Is there any public comment?
A quick question, Mr. Chairman. Is there a draft of the proposed letter of support, or are you just asking for public comment on support or not, no support? I guess that's kind of maybe help clear it
We're
up.
just asking for public comment before we write the letter.
As far as what the project is?
As far as whether there's any opposition or support or.
Okay, and that's, just trying to clarify with, you know, I think most people here support the mine, and I'm speaking for myself here now, but just, again, just trying to make sure that we understand your question for public comment is on what aspect of this, your letter or the overall project?
Well, I think we want public comment on the overall project.
Okay.
I guess what I would do is I'd encourage people to take advantage of the opportunity to go and tour the mine. They do public tours, I'm not sure what days they are, but you can call them and make that,
Yeah, anybody that doesn't know anything about it should go over and take a look.
you can go take a look and see what they got going and make up your mind for yourself. But I know we had a great day over there and seeing what they were doing, and it looked like a pretty good project, so.
I will wear two hats here with one more comment, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
As a Broadwater reporter, would love to be able to make sure that we're on the front page of being able to promote the county here, supporting our neighbor and what's going on there, because it is going to impact us one way or another. So we would love to be able to be on that front page with that. And then personally, because mining, logging, and ranching has founded this county, we need to make sure that we support every aspect of mining that we can possibly do, and I appreciate that as a citizen of Broadwater County. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Alan?
I guess as the public, part of the public in support of the mine, I think that the mine has gone through a rigorous line of environmental issues where I don't think there's any mine ever in Montana that has ever gone through such a rigorous bombardment from obstructionists, environmentalists, socialists, whatever you want to call them.
I think was it we found out, I didn't realize this was it 1985?
Yeah.
When they originally started this? So this has been a long process.
And, you know, and I think one of the aspects of it being that it's on private property has, you know, I myself personally was amazed of how it could be drawn out so long by the government, enforced by the environmentalists on private property, when nobody could prove any damages. You know, that was, to me, that, but I think that the county should support. I don't think that, you know, for what maybe once upon a time, what maybe Broadwater County thought they were gonna get out of that, it may not be, because they were talking about putting railhead over here for their products. Looks like it's going maybe somewhere else. The, maybe housing, but then you never know what the future might bring. So I, you know, I think that the county should most definitely support the mine. Natural resources is the only thing in this country that creates new money. Everything else is recycled. And so, you have, you know, and I'm a favor of mining industry, so, but done properly. You know, we put a man on the moon in 1969, they say, bingo, right? Our phones have more technology today than what they use, NASA used. We put a robot on Mars. Every 18 minutes, we're chit-chatting with it. We should be able to dig rock. And so I think that, you know, maybe the county might wanna look at, because the transportation process, you know, to say how much actually is gonna come into this county, but we're gonna have a lot of traveling through. So time will tell more, but
Well, and that was part of our purpose, Alan, for going over there, is we wanted to talk with the Team the Mine folks and their county commission to see what impacts would be on our county, because we know that there will be some. And we wanna try to be prepared for that if we can.
well, yeah, Mark County is really gonna have an impact. I mean, they're gonna have a hardware store. But anyways.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other comment?
One last question, Mr. Chairman. When you guys met with the county commissioners of Mark County last week, did you guys move forward towards any MOUs or any type of a potential agreement process that you guys would work together in moving forward in this?
Basically, we just discussed housing and whatever impact they may have over here and what they were going through. They're not really, they're welcoming the project they're very welcoming to the project, but the thing is, they're not really putting a whole bunch of stuff into it until something gets a final approval. I mean, they're going through a lot of processes for everything, but they also realize that the process of getting the approval is gonna be long and drawn out. So, I mean, they're very hopeful things will proceed as everybody hopes over there that they will, but they also realize that most likely it's gonna end up in a lawsuit. I mean, and we, you know, like Darryl said, we discussed with both the commissioners and with the mine people about, the railhead possibly being here, the influence that some of those people working and traveling from here to there would have on the highway and all that stuff, but we're just kinda getting through our foot in the water, in the door right now for where they're going. There are meetings, there was a meeting in Great Falls last week. I talked to Nancy over the weekend, she said that went very well. There's a meeting in Livingston tonight, there's a meeting in West Sulphur tomorrow night. So those I think are the end of the public comment, I believe.
What time and what the location of the meeting in White Sulphur?
I believe it's at 6 o'clock at the high school.
Okay,
You might check Black Butte's website.
got you. All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Is Black Butte sponsoring the meeting, or who's sponsoring the
Black
meeting?
Butte or DEQ?
I'm not sure.
I think that it's the DEQ meeting. Their DEQ's public comment meeting, I believe. So is there a motion to proceed with this letter, or?
I would move that we continue to support Tintina Mine in those efforts and write a letter of support from the commission.
Okay, is there a second?
Then the second motion.
motion's been made and seconded to write a letter of support for the Tentina Mine in Mark County. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same, motion carries. Yes, Tim?
One last request, Mr. Chairman. You get your letter put together and you're ready to send, if you could get us a copy of that to the paper, that would be great, that we can help maybe make sure that the people know that the commission is giving that official support.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's see. What we have here is, claims in the amount of $24,740.75.
Move we pay the claims in 7 months.
Is there a second?
Yes, I'll second the motion.
Motion been made, and second to pay claims and set amount, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed,
Aye.
same, motion carries. I guess we can do commissioner update. We attended a meeting with the Marr County Commissioners in the Black Butte Mine, went on the tour of the mine site. We didn't actually get to go to the actual site because it was too muddy to get there. Also attended the weed board meeting and the Rocky Mountain Development Council Finance meeting and the board meeting, and they are looking at probably a budget request of next year of probably about an $800 to $900 increase. They're hoping they're gonna get through this year without an increase. That's pretty much it.
I was also at the weed board meeting. We had a working meeting for the first 90 minutes and we worked on the weed management plan. Made good progress. Jessica, she's still here? Nope. But she was telling me after that she was pretty encouraged by what
Good.
got done,
I'm
so,
glad to see them moving forward on getting that plan written.
yeah.
Okay.
And then also, just FYI, Rotary was last week and we had the school board members and the administration talking about their plans to move forward with a reconstruct of the grade school, the reasons why that building was built in the 1950s. And so they really have been putting a lot of work into research and communication with that. And that's it for now.
Okay, I guess I just, I did Tentina Mine tour as well, attended the Conservation District meeting, and the safety meeting with you guys as well.
Oh, safety, yeah.
Glad to see that our safety program is starting to take off and support. So hopefully that'll continue to grow. I think Mike's gonna do a great job. And Mary, I think they're gonna be fine, so. I think that is really pretty much about it.
And the school is having a facility tour tonight at 6.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
the planning committee is gonna, the building planning committee will meet after that, so if anyone's interested in that. If there's anything else to come before the commission? Yes.
Since Nicole is here, I have a
Okay.
question, but she also raised her hand, so I'll wait.
Oh, that's okay. Longhorn driveway, I'm
Thank
sorry
you.
that I had somebody waiting in my office. I have a letter for you to sign, a certified letter, and I would like to get that in the mail today.
That was gonna be my question,
Oh,
so
okay.
thank you.
Super, I read your mind. This is letter number 3,
Now, did you say that one of them was refused in the fall?
2 of them.
2 of them?
And that's why it went to the legal side of
Right.
things. So, hopefully after that conversation, this will be answered and we can move forward.
And didn't Corey have a face-to-face with this guy?
He did, and he actually had a phone call with him in my office. And this gentleman, he said he was willing to work with the county on the phone. I can attest to that. But
30 days.
and I will put a copy of this in your mailbox as well as Attorney Swanson's mailbox. Anybody else who feel that a copy of it should go to? Okay.
Oh, maybe Mary for courtesy.
Okay, I will do that. And I will stamp this, I'll have Michelle stamp it and take it to the mail, or I'll drive it to the mail on my lunch break, so I make sure that it gets in the mail today. So we can have 30 days from this meeting date on record.
Okay, all right.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Nicole.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll put it on your desk.
I did talk with Mark Menke, who's the finance officer at MBAC, and I asked him some questions about the options we have with the ambulance building. My concern is if we wait on that, because it is tied to the loan, that we will lose our window of having it cleaned up. We will then, either the county or the district board have the liability of that building, the black mold, the asbestos, the lead paint, and then of course the petroleum lamp underneath it. So he said we have an awful lot of options. I would like to go ahead now and pull together the hospital district board, have a joint conversation about what we should do. But since we are the bank, our latitude is quite wide. He said this is done all the time in loans. We can either rewrite and just use the land as collateral. We can rewrite, and based on public health, we are going to pursue getting the building, Brownsfield, to clean it up. So we have an awful lot of options. So we just need to, I'll share with you my notes with Mark, but we need to bring those to the hospital district board, let them know, and then proceed as, either support with them as partners, depending on what they decide and we decide as a team, to hopefully get that addressed.
Okay.
Yeah. So lots of options there, which was quite encouraging.
So that's something we're gonna put on next week's agenda?
I'll see when those guys are available, and I might try and work around their schedule, if it's okay with you guys, and coordinate everybody. But, yeah, I will for sure. let you guys know. Right, yeah. But since it is their building, I wanted to go through them first, but definitely give you guys an update.
Yes, Tim?
Real quick question, Mr. Chairman, coordinating between the hospital district board and the commission here on discussing this further. Has the hospital district board come in and given any report on the status of everything that they are under their jurisdiction here currently with that building and other issues going on? Because we haven't heard anything from them with the partnership, if you will, between the commission and the hospital district.
And let me clarify, there is no partnership. By law, the hospital district board is a separate political subdivision of the state.
Again,
They're
I
not
used the
a
wrong term and I
partner,
apologize, but
And they are not under the commission.
the commission approves a lot of this stuff, and so there's connections, but anyway. Do you have any reports, anything that we can understand what's going on with the hospital district?
Well, they're still tied up with everything that's going on between BHC and St. Pete's, and I don't know how much of that stuff is still on non-disclosure, or where they're at with that stuff. There's a meeting tomorrow afternoon, I believe, at 2:30.
Well, and then maybe that was what because we never hear about a meeting of the hospital district, so we were just wondering if there's anything on
The meeting tomorrow is the hospital board. I don't know,
Right.
but I believe the district people are, well, I think he was usually coming to those meetings. I don't know where they're at on anything else. I
Okay,
haven't heard anything from them, no.
all right.
I think there was an article actually in the Independent Record, and I'm not sure what day it was. Just, was it Saturday, Sunday? I can't remember what
It
paper.
was Saturday, yeah.
It talked about the
About
possible.
the
Yeah,
letter of intent and stuff between the two
Yeah.
entities there, yes, but I haven't heard anything as far as the hospital district.
you probably know what we know, Ken.
So we're just trying to find out if they're holding a meeting to let the people know what's going on that side of it, because it's outside of that private trade process.
Anything else? Any other public comment? Okay, we will adjourn till our closed door at 1:11:23.
Brad. Same thing with you guys.
No, I'm home.
Okay.
I've sat in this chair for 25 hours.
Oh, yeah.
My